You see, for that question,
well, actually, I don't know what those are. Well, so hang on, so 0. So it's just that line, so the next line we've got 0.106.
that doesn't really.
There you go.
Sorry, hold on.
If you place it at 3 seconds instead of 9, you just
3x. 3 seconds instead of 9.
yeah.
Wouldn't that change the value?
Change the pressure.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay. So that the 0.106 was having x is equal to -3 and 9 because that's how the question was written in previous years. It should have been updated this year to be -2. So we should have a different value here, but it seems that there is a difference on the sheet that's online. I have no idea what that is. Is that one that's got the tidal one on the end?
Yeah, it's got tidal at the
The
end.
tidal solution's on the end.
It might have updated now.
So this is the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to.
Right, I don't.
Ask you a question.
I'll look into that. So what we actually get when we calculate the state. So I'm getting 0.0355.
He's still trying to get off this thing, isn't he?
0.0355 minus
away
2
from this.
times all that bit. And it comes out when you type in cos of that on my computer is 0.074. So what are you getting?
Yeah.
0.0745. Fine. So we'll work through that number. So that comes out, is that 6 by 7 corresponding to that?
No, 690.
Right. Fine. So we just take that value forward and process it.
Guys, wouldn't the value change if you place t equals 3 instead
Well,
of
that's
t
good.
equals 9?
Well, that's good now.
You know, if you use 2 equals 3, wouldn't your pressure change?
Because it's 3 instead of 9.
It's omega times 3 instead of 9. And both of those positions would give you a maximum, would
It
they?
changes slightly because we're at a different, so we're effectively at that point, mirror image to that point. Right? So we should be evaluating pressure here and here, slightly different rather than perfect mirror image. So we'll get 3, we get that pressure being applied there, and at 9 we get that pressure being applied there. So I'll just swap them. So they will be slightly different, but the magnitude, net magnitude isn't going to change because the difference between the two is still the same.
Right.
So for our purposes, it's pretty much okay to take that one on one side and apply it to both sides. Right, but in notes, it's actually both sides. And
So do you know it gets taken into account in the equation?
okay, so that's the process.
I think so. Because the difference between them will be the same. I don't know what your minus is. The difference.
Okay, so
They're
690.
both going the same way.
690. There are going to be small differences, as people say, due to different points in the wave cycle. But since we're interested in estimating force, this is going to be fine for now. So we'll take force on that side, see if it's applying almost at the centre, and apply it on the other side.
Because you're at the different part of the wave, isn't it? So if you're on
Okay, we can get more accurate by integrating pressure all the way around, but for the sake of this, take it from one side and integrate across.
So cosine by 3 is the same as a cosine by 9.
I don't know, that's
It can be the same.
So-
Yeah.
We still don't understand that 3.
if you're still going to get, so you know where you put that last bit there where you put the 9?
Yep.
So if you put a 3 in, are you saying like the value, the magnitude is still the
So
same?
the difference, so to do, so at 3,
So the difference.
the difference from both sides of the structure.
You can calculate the difference by placing 2 and minus 2, right?
Yeah.
So difference.
They're
Oh,
both going the
difference.
same way.
You place 2 for x and minus 2 again for x. It's subtracting it.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
I get it.
Positive 2 instead of negative 2. So the x is positive 2 instead of negative 2.
Yeah.
And then you sub in your 3 and it'll give you the same answer.
Well,
X is
the
negative.
difference you're going to find from placing t equals 9 and t equals 3 is going to be the same.
I think I'll just answer the rest of
I hope it's nice economic question. I like this finance question.
You
They take long though, don't they? Compared to the calculation one.
You don't know, you just put
You draw your stupid table and stuff.
you just use that annuity thing.
Which one?
So that equation, the one.
So if you're going for each
Oh, I don't think I've done that one.
It just works out.
I
Like,
don't think I've looked at them. I thought you were
that's
on
what I
about
did in the
the.
coursework. I didn't do a table. I just put the values into the equation, and you get.
So it's a question of what the inputs are in each case, as you're saying. There are slight differences, but the difference between the two is going to be the same in each case. We could take this point, which is t of 3 and x of minus 2. X minus 2. This
How
point,
many win
t
questions?
of 3
Actually,
equals 3, x equals plus 2, and get a difference. And we get the opposite difference over here, but the difference between the two is still the same. Alright?
That's it.
Because we're looking at
That's only one win question, isn't it?
So, I acknowledge that that's a long-winded approach. I apologise that that is different on the handouts. I've got different numbers on my screen from that being evaluated at minus 3
No, I was going to
instead of
this one.
minus 2 from last
He
year.
changes, like, he varies the number. But he obviously has the
Okay,
same
so
win question. So
still
he doesn't
we
ask the
get
win question this year.
difference of pressure, which gives us
the
a
energy
combined
from the
force in
farm.
that direction.
Yeah,
So that,
he always
as you
does that,
can
yeah.
gather, is
That
pretty
big, he gives you the big
complicated
one
as a question
distribution,
goes
he
requires
gives you the
thinking through a lot
equation,
of
and he
parts.
gives you the table, and he's like,
And we
Is he in
can
there?
expect
yeah, he
to
does it
see what
every year.
happens.
If he doesn't do this year,
But he always asks a question and then did he write stuff to me.
Right, do we need to go through the final part of that? Are you happy with getting that
Maybe
force?
2010 he's asked like what is actually on the field factor. Yeah, stuff about that.
no, but yeah, they're not that. Like, you have to draw the diagram. He doesn't ask for that long ass bit. I mean, you said derivation point point that thingy one, the blade element derivation thing.
It's not too bad, you know.
Just can't bother converting all his computer. I need this to go well, man. All the rest of them shit.
Yeah, same. Pictures and not ignored is that.
I don't know what the hell. So Paul, I just went to meet my tutor and Paul Chan was there.
Was he?
They were smiling and shit.
He's a little prick, isn't he? Why does he ask questions like that?
He's actually nice. He just gives like averages, like really shit.
I know.
He's like really happy. But he's like, oh wow, it's well done. You got 50.
I know he thinks he's going well. Really annoying.
So this is, when it starts about oscillating water columns.
So that's amazing. Year 60.
Questions you don't know.
Okay, so we haven't really looked at devices in detail this year. This is a couple of years old. We used to dwell more on the operation of devices.
Can we skip this question?
Work, it seems a bit more detail.
What this question is? What is it?
Does that mean you're not going to ask it then?
So, oscillating water columns we haven't covered in as much detail as we did in 2010. Probably won't ask about the description of the system.
Oh, right. The rest of it.
But for the sake of argument, an oscillating water column is basically a structure that is immersed in the water, open to the water, underneath the water line, and has an air turbine above the water line. So you have an air turbine there, and the flow will go through that, and you have this surface fluctuates here and goes up and down. Right? So it's an upside down bucket with an air turbine in the top, basically. Not very exciting as systems go. Okay, so this might be connected to the shoreline, it might be in a breakwater. Okay, so this whole thing might be fixed or the whole thing might oscillate. Okay, so it's basically that type of system. In terms of operation, we've got dynamic pressure across here, fluctuating, so driving water in and out of the chamber, and as water comes up, it pushes air through the turbine, and as water comes back down, air comes in the other direction. So these turbines either have to go in one direction for half the time and the other direction 5 seconds later, or they are designed to continuously rotate in the same direction. And the latter is obviously far more efficient. So typically in here is a turbine that comprises a number of symmetric aerofoils that look a bit like that, so that even if air is going that way, then the resultant lift is in this direction. Not that way, so air flow is going that way, but it's spinning around very fast, so the resultant velocity is that way. Right, if it's that way or that way, the lift is still, the net lift is still that way, rotation. So and after. It always goes the same way. So unidirectional turbine because the foil is symmetric. Right? Anyway, that's an OWC. So in that year we went into the characteristics of a symmetric foil compared to a asymmetric foil, which is what we use for wind turbines. So we haven't talked about that this year, so the first part is largely not too much of an issue. Right, so direction of particle motion, so that would just be continuing. So here particles are doing this, right, going round and round. And here particles are going up and down, and here particles are going up and down. And that's basically it, so not massively complicated. And a Wells turbine is this, which is what we talked about in that part. All right, so first 7 aren't really that relevant to you this year. Alright, so that gives good context. Anyway, so I guess of more concern is part B, C, D, and E. So E, again, doesn't really matter too much, but C, D, and E could apply to any device. C, D, and E? No, B, C, and D. Could apply to any type of device. So we've basically got a coarse device performance matrix, right, and a coarse wave occurrence matrix. Yeah. So we looked at one of these in the notes, and we looked at it in 2 parts. We had an occurrence matrix first, which has much more data in it than this, and then we constructed an optimal performance matrix. All right. So what are we actually trying to do here? Estimate the capture width of this device for a significant wave height of 3 meters and peak period of 9 seconds. Okay, so capture width just means how much wave crest does this device capture power from. Right? So it's the power output of the device divided by the power conveyed per meter width of wave crest. So it's our P wave energy converter, WEC, say, or device or something, right, divided by P wave. Right, and P WEC is going to be in units of kilowatts or whatever, and that's going to be in units of kilowatts per metre. So this is going to give us units of metres. Okay, so for this question we just need to work out what this is and what this is for 9 and 3.
Excuse me, sir, can you write a bit clearly and dark on the board? It's very difficult to see.
Is that any better? Probably not, but that's just what George does.
Thank you.
Right? It helps. Probably need to do it on that side as well. Mirroring reports. Right, so let's make a significant wave height of 3 meters. So what are both of those values? How do we get P WEC and how do we get P wave? For those 2 conditions, so we want HS of 3, T of 9. So do we know either of those values?
Yeah.
Which one?
P wave you've estimated in knots is 122 HS squared times T cubed.
The P, which is P wave.
P wave, yeah.
So you think P wave is 122 HS squared
Times T cubed.
times what?
T cubed.
HS squared T cubed. Is he right? Is that P wave? What is P wave? What is that? Point of view of what? Point of view of maximum. So that's not P wave. So that is P opt. Right? Pretty scared of swell waves and tsunamis if that was the case. So that's our wave device maximum, but we haven't got optimal wave device, we've just got a standard four in WEC. Or we could call it an OWC. So P wave is the other one. What's the other one?
0.5 HS squared T.
Right, 0.5 HS T. Right, so we need P wave instead from that, so we've got 0.5 times 3 squared times 9. 0.5 times 9 equals 0.5 times 81, which is 4.5. 4.5 kilowatts per metre. Right? P wave, so where do we get P WEC? We would use that, which is what we use in the notes, if it was optimal. But it's not slightly water column, it's a bit poor in terms of performance. So we've got to pick a number from somewhere else. Where do we pick it from? What information do we get in the question? It might be of use. A performance matrix for an oscillating water column are given in table Q61. So which part of table Q61 do we want to use? Has everyone got table Q61?
No.
Right, everyone's got table Q61.
Guys, do you know what WEC stands
Wave energy capture?
for? Wave energy capture.
I don't know. Yes.
I just assumed.
What is wave stand
I think it's marine energy converter.
Marine energy converter.
Yeah.
So our performance
Or
matrix,
like
it's given in the question,
converter.
this gives us a table of
That sounds-
values.
Hey, captured.
5, 7, 9, 11. 5, 7, 9, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't need 5 because there's no numbers in it. So we've got 10, 25, 60, 60,
Need to revise this, yeah, on the fucking internet. I'll probably win. So it's 2 win questions.
1,000. Right, so this actually is the same as our current matrix, but in terms of power. It's just saying in this C state, on average, we get this much power output. So it's like a power performance curve for a wave energy device. Well, it is a power performance curve, but it's in 2 dimensions. Right, so we've got 10, 50, 25, 60, etc. 50, 150. Right, so we've got 13 values, 14 values to choose from. So what do we use? Well, we want 9 seconds and 3 height, so we are interested in that. So our P WEC is 700 divided by 40.5. So our P WEC is 700. So we have equals 700 divided by 40.5 equals something. 17-ish.
Consider
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hater it. Did you do her coursework?
Yeah.
Did you?
Investigation.
No, this year.
Oh, this year? No.
Put Ian's course in first year.
No, some people, these guys, they didn't do Ian White's course. It was copies. Ian White. The other guy.
Can't remember.
The soil shit.
David Alvarez.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't do it. We didn't do Dr. Jeezy in the first year. Just sacked that.
Okay, so
Bad
capital
first
width is 17.3, which is that question, and then
Yeah, I have a
what's
clue what he
next?
taught us.
Is that alright? You happy with that? So P weight is going to be from a scatter plot or some stated performance of the device, unless it's optimal, in which case we could use that. So in the notes we looked at the capital width of an optimal device and found that it was 24 metres, even though the device was 10 metres wide. So it had a capital width ratio of 2.4. Right, so capital width is just in units of metres. Capital width ratio might be that length divided by the width of the device. So it's how much more power it's capturing than is instant on its width. So if it was 10 metres diameter, for example, it would have a capital width ratio then of 1.7.
These revision lectures are pretty good. You should just start with revision lectures from the beginning of the year.
So what the other part of the question say?
All this shit makes sense now.
Average power density wave
Never
at
been to
this
the
site.
lectures too.
Any thoughts?
Should have done this with hydraulics.
Any thoughts as a process?
Did you have a revision lecture?
Fairly menial question.
No, we didn't.
Rather long-winded, so it's just
We did have one. It was horrible.
9, 11,
Fucking hard that way, isn't it? It was so
I liked it a lot.
I didn't like
It
it.
did fuck me up in the exam.
Right, so we just pick out that bit of the matrix, say, and we're only interested in current matrix now because we don't care about the device until part D, annual energy yield, which is basically the same process. So we need energy, which is power times time, right? So we know the number of occurrences of each of these conditions. We know that this occurs 4 times, this occurs 14, 6, 28, 5, 3, 11, 8, and 6. So that's HS. Right, so that's what we've got in the question. So to get that's currents. So we can take each of those and say, right, we know how many hours it occurs for in the course of a year. So we can get the number of hours of each C state by saying, well, we know that there's a total of however many the total is. This is a percentage, so the total is 100. Right, so we know that 4% of the time this occurs, 8% of the time this occurs. So we can convert each of those into hours by just multiplying by the number of hours in a year. So time per C state is equal to occurrence times 8,760, where that occurrence is percentage. Right, and 8,760 is about the number of hours in a year. You can use something more approximate if you want, or something more accurate if you really want. Okay, so time is that, and then energy is power times time. So we need power conveyed per C state times the number of hours of each wave condition. So we want P wave, which we now know how to calculate, times currents, so let's call that P of H, P's the wrong one, isn't it? So let's go currents times 8,760. Right, and then it's just goes on through self-calculation. You can ignore the bottom few because they're not contributing much to the wave field. Long-winded, got surprised. Okay, that was a question. But we could do as we did in the lecture and then take a summation of each condition, or we can take each condition in turn and then multiply it by the power of that wave field. So in the notes so far, we've then added some columns because we know that this P wave is equal to, as we've just done, 0.5 hs squared T. Right? So we could evaluate that 9 times. 9 times? We've got 10 times. It's a bit of a hassle, but it's quite straightforward to do on the calculator. All we can do, as we did in the example in the course, take account of the fact that this scales linearly with T, right, to take a weighted average of the period first. Doesn't really matter which way around you do it. You can discard the smallest samples and just do the biggest samples, whichever way is most efficient. In terms of method, you pretty much explained yourself once you've got to that, and then you're interested in the aggregate summation of the next one. So if we were then to write the same matrix, but in terms of power, we've already got this case over here, so we can again write 5, 7, 9, say, right, so we've already done this one, 9 and 3, so that's 40 odd, and it's quite straightforward to run through each of others. But I haven't got other values. Quicker. So that was 40.5. That's going to be 18. Right, this is just typing numbers in stage 14, 14. Right, so that's the power conveyed by each wave. We have here, so this is the currents. Power. And then we can have energy. Right, so then energy is just each cell multiplied by the ones over here. You can ignore the ones that are tiny if you need to see it. You can get a figure somewhere. Right, so it's just a case of rationalising it and making it as efficient as possible, really, in terms of your calculation. That's rather long-winded, and quite surprised we asked that one. But I think in other occasions, 2011 exam, for example, we asked for the total energy conveyed by one wave period, which is the same process that you have to do it so many times. So, exactly the same. Right, so this would then be energy, which is this P wave times the currents times 8,760. So this times this times 8,760. We could conceivably sum at this stage and then do the multiplication of this. So those annual site conditions shouldn't be massively complicated. They're more a case of how you make things quick to calculate to save yourself time. Right, so we can, I don't really bother about the numbers there. So quite straightforward. The top row isn't very important, I guess, and we can just use the lower elements of the wave field as the total over the course of the year. So, for example, that's only 10.